Inspiration, which is a quick way to get inspired when it comes to language learning daily and effectively. As promised, this time we're going to cover some practical ways of adding more joy to language learning. Languages, as anything else in life actually, can be practiced in a boring and painful way, or can be a real highlight of your day. The decision is yours. Last week we spoke about the mental work you can do so that your brain gets programmed on feeling positive in regards to learning. Today we will brainstorm a bit on how you can adapt your learning to make it a pleasant experience. To me, languages are a way to get to know the world. That means I want to experience them rather than learn. So, when starting a new language, I always try to get as connected to the culture as possible. I do it through music, watching films and series online in this language, and making new connections. Thank you, Internet. The point here is that you want to jump fully into the language and everything that's connected with it. It helps you better understand it, as well as creates the emotional connection between you and the language, and it works wonders. You might say, okay, but there's a certain number of things regarding languages that you just have to do, like learning grammar or new vocabulary. That's true. But you can always find a way that's more pleasant for you than others. I literally never do grammar in a boring way or cram vocabulary. As it is a really vast topic, I created a whole course presenting different aligned with how your brain works methods of quick learning. But the most important aspect is to see the language through your own preferences. I'll give you an example. I love reading and arts. So, the majority of my activities, aside from speaking of course, is learning through reading, because I would read anyway, as I enjoy it. So I may as well do it in another language as much as possible, right? When it comes to connecting arts with language, it seems not that easy, huh? What I do is, for instance, learning how to draw or how to watercolor using resources in another language. Currently I do this in Spanish. This way, I have the chance to do something I enjoy, yet including some language practice in it. And it works really well for me. Another artsy thing I enjoy is calligraphy. So what I do is I calligraph song lyrics in the language I learn. This way, I have a chance to practice spelling, for instance, and also get to know some new vocab. The key thing here is that I do these things as a form of relaxation, right? So, then what happens in my brain, it starts to connect this language with something nice and relaxing, and that's really beneficial. We usually drop learning because it brings us not much joy, or sometimes it even brings us discouragement and frustration. So, it's time to flip the script and do it differently, so that you can make your learning stick. Now, think about things that bring you joy, and then come up with a way of connecting it with the language. I do that with my clients during language coaching sessions, and there's a lot of crazy and cool ideas coming up there. I once had a client who was a big fan of motorbikes, so what he decided is he followed some Facebook fan pages related to that in his target language. This way, every day he reads something about motorbikes that he enjoys, right? But he gets to be in touch with the language. Another client of mine was literally obsessed with gardening. So each time she spends some time doing gardening, she either listens to a podcast or some music in her target language. Once you include the language into your daily activities, you will help your brain get used to it, but also you will unnoticeably make progress. This manifests in the moments when you don't quite know why you know something or where you know it from, but you just know it. That's the way people say it. It's simply because you've heard it a few times and your brain managed to process it and remember it. So guys, let me know about your ideas in the comments below, and we'll meet again in the next Monday inspiration video. Take care.